What is going on, everybody? This is a totally off schedule live stream. I probably won't be on that long, but I will be on for a little bit anyway. This is absolutely not a normal time for me. I don't think I'm crashing into Angry Prepper. Hey, KP. Um, Probably, I don't know if pinball's on. I'm losing track of when everyone comes on and off. There's so many folks in the preparedness space, it's kind of hard to keep up. But in any case, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. I want to let you all know our part of Texas thus far is not having a lot of issues, but a lot of the state got hammered. Those of you who live east of West Texas, so basically, the eastern part, Dallas, Fort Worth, Houston, going into northern Louisiana, you guys are probably going to start seeing the wind storms. We had tornado warnings about 30 minutes south of us, and they had hail right to the north of us, but we're kind of on a ridge geographically. Hey, what's up, Irishman? How are you? And it kind of broke up the storm front. So well, thank you. Hey, yep, I was right. Hailing in Lubbock. So bug out in Ira and right down 10. I guess if you're following 10, headed towards San Antonio, like you go to El Paso, 10 and 20 split. 20 goes through Midland, Odessa, and then keeps going to Dallas. And 10 goes south, kind of follows the Rio a little bit and then breaks over. Um, uh, they had tornado warnings. They had rotation in the air, like you could see it on the radar. Hey, Lucky. Um, East Texas has been getting hammered. I had a coworker who was trying to fly home, got stuck in Dallas, and then they shut the Dallas airport down. So a group of guys and girls from work, both on the job and some who were on time off, just kind of getting to and from, all got hung up in Dallas. Fortunately for them, the bigger ports like that have bars and restaurants open 24 hours a day, kind of. So they were able to basically find a little beer hole, and they were able to have some drinks, some chips, watch TV, and kind of BS with each other while they were waiting. That's happened to me a couple of times flying around Texas. We get these strange storms, and we wind up getting hung up in an airport. If you do get stuck at an airport in Texas, Houston and the Dallas airport, the Bush airport in Houston and the Dallas Intercontinental are two very good airports if you got to get stuck. Austin's not too bad. San Antonio's not bad, but all the little towns are just boring. You may as well just get a hotel if they'll you can get out. We got to don't underestimate any weather that comes up nowadays. No, bug out we can't. Um, Irishman, how are you? Yeah, it's gotten to the point. We've had vehicles get knocked off the road. Um, it's just the weather. And now we have a dust storm warning in West Texas, so pretty much from El Paso all the way to Abilene, and not quite to Lubbock, south of Lubbock, but down in like Fort Stockton, Iran, McCamey, all those areas. The wind is past my spot. So right now I got like clouds on the right and sun on the left, and the sunset's on my left. So because I'm facing north, so not terrible right now. But these kind of storms are really hard to prepare for. I see a lot of people who say, "Oh, well, you prep or sort." You really can't. How the hell do you prep for a tornado? If you watched Angry Preppers videos, I mean, it obliterated that town in Oklahoma. I mean, how do you prep for that? It's too hot here already. We were hot here, but not that hot. And y'all have a more humidity, if I recall, in your general area, which we'll leave unnamed for now, versus say mine, because I'm at a higher altitude. But still, that's oh god, we were 102 ish, 101 yesterday or day before. I'm trying to remember now. But hey, Caribbean House, how are you? But a lot of these storms are hard to prepare for. And I've said it on a couple of videos. If you have jackeries or generators, pull them out while the weather's good, check them, run them for 5 minutes, then let them cool off and stow them. I gotta probably plug in by the end of the week, certainly by the first week of the month, next month, I'm gonna plug in all the jackeries, make sure they're charged. Hey, Wolfang, what's going on? So, uh, KP and let's see who else we got. Lucky Dame. Lucky, I saw you did a live stream on your Lucky channel, not the other one, or you did one on the old one, not the new one. You did something I hadn't seen you. One of the channels that I haven't seen in a while. It was fun to catch you though. That was a few weeks ago. But did you see a military plane crashed into an airport? Yeah, that was outside of Albuquerque. I believe it was outside Albuquerque. Let's look at that. Oh, I had it here. Former South Dakota. No, no. I cannot find it. Oh, here it is. Oh, shiitake mushrooms. Hold on a second here. Bear with me. F-35B crashes into. Let's see. F-35B. Ta-da. Crashes in New Mexico. The pilot of an F-35B safely ejected after the aircraft crashed in New Mexico on Tuesday. This was a Marine Corps plane. It was en route from Fort Worth, Texas, to Edwards Air Force Base, California, and it crashed after a refueling stop in Kirtland, New Mexico. Kirtland AFB in New Mexico. So people don't realize Fort Worth has actually a very big. God, Bentley just scared the hell out of me. He was sleeping under me, and I didn't know he was there. And I turned around and I just felt something soft on my feet. I'm like, what the hell? It's him. Man, he got big too. Uh, yeah, there's a big reserve base in Fort Worth on the north side of town, and so it's not uncommon to see those jets going to and from. Uh, we've actually had a lot of National Guard activity. Nothing too insane, but it was it's been substantial. The transports mainly. That's normally what we see here. The other day, though, we had a bunch of Apaches come through. I don't know where the hell they came from, and then a couple of Ospreys. I hadn't seen them probably in 3 years since Rona, and then there were F-18s, believe it or not, loaded out Navy, which probably came from that base in Fort Worth. But they were loaded. I don't know where they were going or where they were coming from, but yeah, there's been a lot of activity, and rightly so. But as far as these storms, folks, from what I'm seeing on the weather radars, a lot of these storms that just rolled through us again are headed to a lot of you guys. I don't know if they're going to be as far up as Ohio, but Louisiana, Tennessee, Oklahoma, all the way pretty much from the panhandle of Texas to the East Coast is going to have a lot of weird storms coming up. So you guys, hey Canadian, um, you guys want to be sure you got your stuff up to date. I highly recommend you could put your home insurance papers on the cloud. That's not a bad idea. Whenever I get hard copies, if they don't email me a PDF, I will scan the hard copies and I'll put it on iCloud or some other online. But I also keep an extra hard copy in the safe. Uh, it's dark and windy here. Yeah, you guys are supposed to be getting some stuff uh, loaded with trains. Scene. It's that rails are loaded with trains. Hey, Virginia, what's going on? Yeah, not bad. We're just doing some storm updates right now. That last batch completely went around us, which is like a quirk of the geography in my area. When we get hit, it's horrendous. But then out of every like 8 storms, one hits us. The others kind of go, and they just go around us. Um, but being prepared for that kind of fast moving storm is really difficult to do. Um, Truthfully, it's because they move so damn fast and they're hard to predict. If you move to a new area, there are flood maps you can look at. There are historical weather maps you can look at to see tornado touchdowns. You really want to do some homework if you're relocating the way I do. So, like, yeah, see, and I used to live in that area, KP, and yeah, it's and you get those what they call microbursts off the Gulf of Mexico. You get a bunch of humidity, hits whatever air is over land, and it's just boosh, instant downpour and winds, like baby hurricane, and then an hour later it's gone. Um, and then the gators come out and swim around the bayous and freak people out. Uh, just be aware of this. The weather's been so weird, and these storms are moving so fast that um, a lot of people getting caught off guard. Um, I'm sure I know we've always had tornadoes in the middle of the country. Um, Seeing this many in places like Houston is not common. They do happen because they've happened, but they usually happen. Hey, sure, what's going on? They do usually happen in conjunction with a hurricane. So the fact they're happening by themselves, you got that El Nino La Nina transition, and the ocean temperatures are changing, and so on that cycle, and we're starting to see just a lot of weird stuff. Um, Hard copies of your paperwork, hard copies of phone lists, if you can do it. Um, if you can, I would designate a retreat or bug out location. Um, because that way, if your family's separated and a storm hits, and say I come home and the house has been damaged, or my wife's just not there, she bailed. I have an idea she'll be in one of two or three places, and then I just kind of figure out where she went. Um, Lucky, to your point, that the storms in Houston. Let me see if I can find those pictures. Um, it looked like when Harvey hit. It was that bad. I'm trying to find the pictures. In theory, there are pictures. No, there are no pictures. Here we go. This one's from the Houston Chronicle, but that's there we go. That's just one picture, but that's like the 30th floor of that building. Like it absolutely. Let's see if they are not out. Um,
Closures in the downtown area, downtown Houston, for the rest of this week.
With everything you need to know, Shelby.
Yes, good morning. Many roads around this area, specifically of downtown Houston, look exactly like what's behind me, barricaded off to traffic.
Yeah,
Texas
I
DPS
don't. I've
troopers
lost my
stationed
audio.
all
Go
around here
figure.
as the
Can you guys
many crews work to quite literally pick up the pieces of broken glass that has been scattered all over since Thursday's storms. We do have a map to show you, though, of the closures to be mindful of. It's centered around the southwest quadrant of downtown, which is south of McKinney Street and west of Fannin. And this is the area they need to stay out of just because of that public safety concern with the hundreds of broken windows that are still
I don't know
being
if you guys
repaired
can hear
and the
this.
possible falling glass that could happen as a result. But downtown certainly isn't the only area that's still feeling the effects of last week's deadly storm. Mayor John Whitmire, alongside FEMA and our first responding agencies, toured the damage in the Spring Branch
as
area
you can
where many
see,
are still without power. The mayor taking the opportunity to remind the public of it.
Oh, all right. Well, we get more advertisements. Okay, you can hear it. I couldn't hear it. Believe it or not, I'm having some issue with this puppy. Probably beat it up too much is the problem. But uh, those storms actually blew out windows that were hurricane rated uh, from a lot of these buildings, and I'm talking, 10, 20, 30 floors up, and all the windows came out. So, that's an additional hazard. And I've done a video about PPE, personal protective gear, hard hat, steel toes, safety glasses, even masks. And when I say masks, not like COVID, but dust masks to keep particles, sheet rocks, stuff like that out of your lungs. Um, Work glove, impact gloves, stuff like that to protect your hands. Because you think about it, even if you have to go out and clean your area, you may go and pick up what you think is a bunch of, branches and leaves that could be broken glass in there. So I just saw a report we had 800 tornadoes this year so far. Wow, that's insane. Oh, more hail up in that neck of the woods. That means the college kids are out of tech now, so it would just be y'all. But still, the weather, and I've said it on other videos. I'll probably do others regarding it, but the elements are one of your biggest enemies. Um, if you look back in history, like in the Pacific Theater, more soldiers on both sides died from malaria, dengue, cholera, all those other diseases, and then snake bites, spider, insect, uh, poisonous plants than they did from shooting each other. Like it was almost I don't remember if it was 50-50 that for every guy that got hurt in combat or killed in combat, there was one that got dropped because of a natural element. Um, but weather like this, and then Lucky pointed out like the 108 degrees the other day in her area, um, that will kill you. So you need to prep, and I've said it, you want to prep that 80-90% likelihood stuff. Hurricanes happen all the time, tornadoes, extreme heat, bad cold, blackouts. And when you prep for that kind of stuff, you also prep for, you know, indirectly you prep for, zombie apocalypse, alien invasion, Chinese invading the country, whatever enemy, bad guy you want to portray. But he does sun earthquakes. That was from daily events. He does sun earthquakes too. Wow, that's insane. Is he on YouTube or is he on another platform? But well, in any case, I heard Fauci is going in front of Congress sometime this month. Okay, so Fauci got busted because they found emails that were telling other people not to send emails on the government websites or government email, but to send it via private like Gmail and private servers, so that technically they could get around FOIA, Freedom of Information Act. And they actually got advice from the FOIA office. And so the Congress is pissed off because they're like, the purpose of the FOIA office is to ensure compliance with FOIA, not to teach people how to find loopholes in Freedom of Information Act. So yeah, hey Niels, what's going on? He is, there that dude. I'd love to see who in his family owns significant amount of restricted stock from some of these companies. Like, the Congress people have to reveal what they trade. So if I get elected, I have to show I sold, 50 shares of Chevron. I have to declare it. But the family members don't. I could call my son and be like, hey, buy, Exxon or whatever, buy McMuffin, and I'll give him the tip. I can even, write him a personal check, put it in an account that he has access to, and say, yeah, take 500 whatever and go buy this stock. And I don't have to tell anybody that I did that as a congressperson, only if I made the transaction. And hey, Niels, or Bullet. No, you'd be wasting a bullet on that fool. Hey, Random. Forecast this summer is going to be hotter than last year. I both bought a few. Actually, and again, that's a really good point Lucky brings up. Having appropriate clothes for weather changes, and just weather in general in your area is a good thing to do. If you're traveling like I do, if I'm going to go from here to Denver, it's going to be a completely different subclimate over there. I may not be able to dress the same way. In a short sleeve, I might get cold up there. But if someone from up there comes down here in a long sleeve and a hoodie, they're going to die in the heat. So, understanding where you're going, what weather patterns exist at what time of year is absolutely invaluable. But yeah, folks, there's still, hey, random dude, I missed you there, bud. But folks, be mindful of what's going on. Random JL, that's some random dude. Okay, hold on, I lost the chat there. Be mindful of the weather changes, uh, especially in light of the fact that everything's more expensive. Supply chains are kind of still crappy. I think a lot of people are panicking at the weather, but they're not actually doing anything. And again, you wanna prep for that stuff that's 80-90% most likely. All right. If you can prep for the fringe stuff, the unlikely stuff, that's not a bad idea. But if I had, you have your $10 to spend for the week, I would put it on something I know I'll definitely use at some point, than something I may or may not use. I put the fringe stuff, which tends to be more expensive too, out in the budget somewhere. Like, oh, I'm gonna go buy supply chain is crappier. Yeah, it is crappier. That's a fair point. Like you're gonna get a generator or a jacker, it's 3, 4, $500. Um, budget that out and say, okay, every paycheck I'll take $50, $25, put it in a coffee can. And when I get enough, I'll go get the jacker and budget it away and focus your day-to-day spending on the day-to-day needs, because that will make a lot more difference in your preps. Um, and actually, surprisingly, I took a break from the travel. If you noticed, a lot of my live streams are in my truck, but I'm kind of not long distance traveling and not out of airports and hotels, uh, because God, it got exhausting. I traveled so damn much the first half of this year, quarter, if you will. Like February, January, February, March was so busy, and by April, I was winding up a lot of these trips. I was done, and I'll tell you what, it's exhausting when you're trying to travel and you keep changing locations and you're trying to stay ahead of having the right things in your suitcase, the right things in your carry-on. I got one knife confiscated because I lost track of where my shit was, and it was still in my carry-on bag. And they scanned it and they found it, and they had to they confiscated it. Which oh well. I should have double checked, but you get that busy. Hey, Lisa, welcome. Did Biden acknowledge? No, he did not. Um, And actually, he was talking about George Floyd on Memorial Day, which just agitates the crap out of me. Not that that wasn't a sad situation, but that's damn Memorial Day. Talk about veterans. You're looking not so tired now. Yeah, I'm more paperwork tired, not travel tired, where I'm kind of like I've had my fair share of paperwork this week. Um, but my backup engineer will be here in a few weeks. Hopefully, her visa comes through, and then I'll have my teammate, and then we can divvy up all the fun. Right now, basically, I have all the fun, which becomes not fun. Then it just sucks. So, but what's up, dude? He's passed out. I have two passed out corgis under me. The puppy's in puppy jail. She bit Bentley on the butt, and then they fought, and then she ran over and attacked Pepper while she was sleeping, and they fought, and then she ran off with a sock, and it was just like this ongoing mischief. And then Bentley went and sacked her, just ran her over, and then there was a commotion. I'm like, okay, you're done. They're like children, puppies. When they get overtired and they act like they want to play, but they're actually pissed off and they're angry playing, and then they cry. That's basically what the puppy did. So the puppy to bed. And just before I started the live stream, she was howling like a wolf, which was funny to listen to. But hey, Shorty, welcome. But yeah, the war puppy. Good Lord. You would think corgis, they always show you videos of, oh, the corgi's so sweet with that little smile. And you look at like dog products and they have a picture of a corgi and it's just sitting there with this little face. I'm like, that's a lie. If that was one of my corgis, she would have the bag in her mouth and be shaking it, and pieces would be flying everywhere. Somebody be running off with a shoe. It's just, and they're smart. Like they know what they're not supposed to do. So, hey, take care, Wolf. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I've been getting up at God 4 or 5 in the morning, so yeah, I'm about to wind it down. So one other thing, ladies and gentlemen, just keep in mind. Remember, every year energy prices go up during the summer because people start traveling. So you're gonna see, you might see prices go down, and then they'll take a little bump up. Um, for now, this is the nose strain. 2011 is first. Oh wow, that's kind of awful when you think about it. That he was murdered today. Yeah, it was. We weren't that hot over here, but yeah, you guys, some areas were really hot. But you know, folks, just be mindful. Do your homework before you travel. Your fuel prices are going to go up a little bit during the summer, so budget that, factor that into your budgets. But don't let your vehicles go below half a tank. It is hurricane season, and you may think, oh, I live in Arizona or New Mexico or West Texas, and I don't get hit by hurricanes. No, you will. It won't be a hurricane when it gets to you. It'll be a big jumble of storms after the coast breaks it up. But you absolutely could flood. I remember Harvey went after beat up Texas. It went up the side of the country and just flooded the hell out of everybody. So, um, okay, so in Texas it was in April, so we would have missed it. But yeah, check local ordinances. A lot of states are doing that now. And if you can take it, and what I would do is go now and take pictures of the prices of the things you need, and then go back on tax-free weekend for prepping and see if the price went up, the base price. Because what I've noticed is like you'll look at whatever some ReadyWise or whatever thing in the shelf, and it's $10 or $20. And then on tax-free weekend, where you save your little 8%, 10%, it's no longer $10, it's like 15. They mark it up and then say, oh, but you're not paying tax on it. And so I've discovered that if I can't get it before, I wait till after tax-free. Like they wind up screwing you. So regularly check your prices in your area just to keep those folks honest, because they will mark it up certain times a year. But folks, look, do your homework. Again, hard copies of stuff. Keep your vehicle full. Keep the basics going. Right? Everyone's struggling financially. Interest rates are up. Everything's freaking expensive. We just looked at New York strip steaks that used to be $7.99 a pound in 2020. They're 13, 14 now. Um, everything's just more expensive, and if everything goes up by 25%, it doesn't sound like a lot, right? If it was $3 before, or it's $4 before, now it's 5. Well, it went up 25%. But you think about it, by the same token, if it was 40, now it's 50. The dog food, the big bag we used to get for these potatoes used to be 45, $50. Now it's 70, 65, 70. It's absolutely insane. And I could always find other dog food brands that are good, but if milk, eggs, gas, everything goes up the same, you're just going to struggle, right? You're not going to be able to make ends meet. So eat the bugs. Yeah, no, they can keep the damn bugs. By the way, they're renaming cricket protein as archina powder. What the hell is it called? Cricket protein. Oops, that wasn't what I meant to do. Cricket new name. It is a cheetah powder. I'll put it in the chat. According to the Cleveland Health Clinic, in North America, cheetah powder, aka cricket powder, is becoming more and more popular among people who want to experiment with more environmentally friendly ways to get enough protein. They make it sound so nice. What they don't tell you is if you have any kind of shellfish or other type of allergy and you eat that stuff, you're going to make yourself sick. FDA, according to the FDA, cricket powder is considered a protein powder. Ugh. Hey, Psycho Billy, what's going on? That's just nasty. How and why to use cricket powder? They actually have recipes for cricket powder. Ugh, that's just ugly. Bird flu in the cows, bugs for everybody. Yeah, basically, your chickens are dying. It's just a hot mess right now. It's almost to where it's funny if it wasn't real. Like if this was a movie, you'd be laughing and be like, eh. I didn't realize Idiocracy was a forecast, not a comedy. But here we are, right? And pretty soon they're going to start telling you it's what you crave, a cheetah powder. Like, yeah, no. But in any case, folks, all political jokes aside, as you get into hurricane season, tornadoes are already here, the thunderstorms are here, gas prices are going to go up. Budget your stuff out accordingly, so you don't make yourself crazy later on. Hey, Devil Dog, what's going on? And take your time, spread out the cost if you can. Now's not a time to spend a bunch of money, not a time to get in debt. I don't care what McMuffin prepper over in whatever place those people all come from tells you to do. Don't do that. That's just a horrendously bad idea. And I'm still pissed. I stopped watching one of the big creators like several years ago because basically it said, put it all on your card, the banks will collapse. No, you do that, the banks always come back for that money. I mean, where do you think if the bank collapses, another one will buy out his loans and they come after you? So no, don't do it. But in any case, folks, look, storms are out of the western part of Texas and they are headed toward the East Coast. As I said earlier, there are some tornado warnings. There is hail that just finished northern toward the Panhandle and northern part of Texas. So if you're east of Texas, almost in a straight line, you're probably going to get something in the next 3 to 5 hours. Just secure your shit and have your flashlights handy. You know the drill, guys. But in any case, look, you guys be safe out there. Be careful. I will catch you all on a future video once my schedule settles a little bit more. It's just been real chaotic lately. And thank you guys for joining me. You guys take care of yourselves out there. I'll see you all later.